Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Nate vidu swatagatim hi vishnum durasayahe bahirattamaninaha antayatade upaniyamana satyapi satandram urudam baddha. So the translation is, a person who is addicted to material way of enjoying life, he accepts another leader who is also materially attracted, and it's like a blind man following another blind man. So one blind man is guiding another blind man, and what happens? They miss the right path and both of them fall into the ditch. So similarly, one who accepts a materially intoxicated person will take the other person also through this repeated birth, death, old age and disease. So this goes on perpetually, and also they suffer the threefold miseries. What are the threefold miseries? Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika and Adhidevika. Adhyatmika is miseries caused by mind and body. Mind and body. So it can be you can be the president of the country, or you can be the poorest person in the country. Still you will have problems created by the body and mind. It could be as simple as headache, it could be serious as diabetes or cancer. So bodily problems everybody will have. Mind, problems caused by our own mind. Of course, all of us have tension and stress. It depends on what. The subject could be different, but the stress remains the same. So Parampadam, so our aim is to go back home, back to Godhead, where there is no anxiety in Vaikuntha. So all of us have to go through this threefold misery. So one is miseries caused by body and mind. Miseries caused by other living entities. So it could be as insignificant as mosquitoes biting us, or it could be your bad teacher in school for the kids. It could be a bad boss at work. It could be a bad co-worker. It could be a problematic husband or a wife or children. So miseries caused by other living entities, we cannot escape. Whether you are a president, prime minister, black, white. So it's a fact. And the third type of misery is misery caused by natural disasters. So natural disasters are something from the demigods. It's too cold, it's too hot. There is tsunami, there is flood, there is hurricane. We cannot escape. So these are threefold miseries. So if we follow a leader who's intoxicated in enjoying materialistic way of life, then we are misled from this right path, and we fall into this repeated birth, death, old age and disease, this cycle. So that is what Srimad Bhagavatam in 7th canto, 5th chapter, Hiranyakashipu is being instructed by Prahlad Maharaj. So we know that we cannot follow these materialist people. Then in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Rishabdev, Lord Rishabdev, who is one of the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is instructing his sons. He's got 100 sons. He's instructing his sons who is not a leader, who cannot be a leader, and also there's only one instruction a leader should give everyone. And what is that? Guru na tatsyat, swajano na sasyat, pita na sasyat, janani na sasyat, devam na tatsyan, napati sa tatsyan, namocheya, samupeda mrityu. So this means one who cannot deliver his dependence from this repeated cycle of birth, death, old age and disease is unfit to be a spiritual master, a guru, or a father, or a mother, or a husband, or a king, or a worshipable demigod. So it's a lesson for all of us who have dependence. We have children, so if any one of you is not a father, not a husband, not a mother, then you don't have to worry about this particular verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is from the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Again, Lord Rishabdev is instructing his children. So one who's not able to deliver is dependence. It could be the father, mother, husband, wife, the king, the politician, or the spiritual master, or the worshipable demigod is unfit for all these titles. So what is the only instruction that a teacher has to give? How to get out from this cycle of birth, death, old age and repeat, and death, and how to go back home, back to Godhead. So in this particular purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining who's an Acharya. So an Acharya is an ideal teacher. So all of you may ask, okay, we cannot follow the politician or an actor or a sports person because they are materialists. They will take us into this ditch because blind man leading another blind man. And in this particular, so who are we supposed to follow? So who is the leader? So in this particular, if you remember in Mahabharata, Yudhishthir Maharaj says, Mahajano enagata sa pantaha. So this is a verse that is repeated by Srila Prabhupada so very often. Mahajano enagata sa pantaha. So who are we supposed to follow? Who's the leader? So the leaders are, in this purport, Acharyas, and according to Yudhishthir Maharaj, they are the 12 Mahajans. Mahajano enagata sa pantaha. So you can ask, who's a Mahajan? So again, the answer is in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the ripened fruit of Vedic tree of knowledge. You see in that first shelf, you have the Srimad Bhagavatam, ripened fruit of the Vedic tree of knowledge. From Srimad Bhagavatam, who are all the 12 Mahajans? If anybody can tell all the 12 Mahajans, we have a nice book as a gift. Anybody wants to try?
I know 1 or 2, 3.
1 or 2?
Narad Muni.
Yeah.
Brahma.
Yes. So very good, good try. So let me see whether I remember. So the 12 Mahajans, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni, Sukdev Goswami, then we have Bali Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Janaka Maharaj, then we have Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is also one of the Mahajans. Lord Brahma, the 4 Kumaras were the mind-born sons of Lord Brahma. Then we have Swayambhuva Manu. Then we have Lord Kapila Muni, one of the incarnations of the Lord. Then we have Bhishma, grandfather Bhishma, and then Yamaraj. So these are the 12 Mahajans. If you follow the 12 Mahajans, they are undisputed leaders. If you follow the path of the 12 Mahajans, our life will be successful. We can transcend this birth, death, old age and disease and go back home, back to Godhead, Parampada. So that is the solution that is given here. Who should we emulate? Who should we follow? And in this purport, Prabhupada is saying, you have to follow the Acharyas. Acharyas are ideal teachers. Again, who teach us nothing but, when you go to college and university, we have so many books. Here in Vedic literature, we have so many books. But what is the goal of everything? Goal of all this Vedic literature is to always remember Krishna, not to forget Krishna. And what is the aim? To go back home, back to Godhead, to serve the Lord in the spiritual world. So that is the aim. So that is what the ideal teacher should be teaching us. Then he is called as the leader. So who are all the Acharyas? So we can start off with Srivas Acharya. So we say the Panchatattva prayers. So we have the Panchatattva there in that big banner. We have the Hare Krishna Mahamantra there. But before we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we chant the Panchatattva mantra. We can all chant it together. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So the fifth Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So before we go into Srivas Acharya, who's one of the Panchatattvas, we just talked about the 12 Mahajans. Out of the 12 Mahajans, 3 of them showed by their examples that they reached perfection by following the 9 processes of devotional service. What are the 9 processes of devotional service? Again, the answer is in Srimad Bhagavatam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Mandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. So out of the 9 processes of devotional service, 3 of these Mahajans attained perfection by following one of the 9 devotional service. And what are they? Sukdev Goswami is one of the Mahajans. So Sukdev Goswami is the personification of Shravanam or Kirtanam?
Both.
Kirtanam, because he's the one who recited the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam in 7 nights and 7 days. And then Prahlad Maharaj attained perfection by Vishnu Smaranam, because he was always thinking of Lord Vishnu in spite of his father Hiranyakashipu trying every possible way to kill him. What about Bali Maharaj? He's one of the Mahajans. How did he attain? He's the personification of Atma Nivedanam. Atma Nivedanam means gave everything to the Lord. And what did he do? When he promised these 3 steps of land to Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vamanadev took 2 steps and the entire 3 planetary systems, lower, middle and upper planetary systems have been covered. 14 worlds in 3 planetary systems. So the lower worlds, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala and Patala. Then we have this earth. Then we have the planetary systems above. And what are they? Bhuloka, Borloka, Swargaloka, Janaloka, Mahaloka, Tapaloka and Satyaloka or Brahmaloka. He covered in 2 steps the entire planetary system is covered. But he said, hey, you promised me 3 steps of land, but in 2 steps I covered everything. So he said, now put your 3rd step on my head. So he offered himself to Vamanadev. So it's Atma Nivedanam. So he's the personification of Atma Nivedanam. And who are all the other acharyas that we can emulate? So Srivas Acharya is one of the Panchatattvas. And Swarup Damodar Das. Swarup Damodar Das is one of the Ashtashakis. He's Lalita Shaki who came during Gaur Leela as Swarup Damodar Das. And Swarup Damodar Das said, Srivas Acharya is Suddha Nama Ashraya. Suddha Nama Ashraya means he is the shelter. Ashraya means shelter. He is the shelter of the pure holy name. So all of us would have gone through this process where when we try to chant, our Hare Krishna Mahamantra is like the background music. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. It's going in the background music, but our mind is thousands of miles away in India, in different countries, or at work. Is there? So it's like shooting blanks. You know, they say in capsule, the capsule, just pronouncing the syllables is not Krishna. Krishna is within the name. So you have to feel the presence of Krishna when you are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We have so many stories from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, how he went from one city to another city, and there was a temple, and the priest came from the temple and he said, it's actually Bhakti Vinod Thakur and his son Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami, who's none other than the Guru Maharaj of Srila Prabhupada. And he was a small boy at that time, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami. So they go to this temple, crossing this temple to go to a nearby city. And then a priest comes and he says, you know what, don't go, it's already late in the night, stay in the temple. So both of them stay in the temple that night. And all of a sudden, they have never experienced this. Brick bats are being thrown. Stones are being thrown from all sides and nobody is there to throw the stones. Stones are coming from left, right and center. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur starts and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami start chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra very loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. After some time, all the stones do not come. It's utter silence there, pin drop silence is there. Then they, and in the morning they wake up and they go towards this city where they were supposed to go. All the people in the city, they were astonished. You are coming into our city so early in the morning. That means you stayed so close to the city last night. Where did you stay? They said, we stayed in the temple. Oh no, you stayed in the temple. That has got so many ghosts in that. How did you stay? I said, yes, there were some ghosts. They were throwing some brick bats. And then we chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra so loudly. And then there was no problem. Then they started asking Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who are you? And then when Bhaktivinoda Thakur says who he was so famous at that time, they knew what an exalted Acharya he was. And then they started asking questions. So this particular priest who was in the temple was engaged in some sinful activities. That they agreed. But then he used to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra so regularly. So how did he become a ghost? So this was the question to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. How did he become a ghost? So at that time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining that it is lip deep Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is potent. But when we say Nama Chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Purna Suddho Nitya Mukto, Vinatva Nama. Name of Krishna is Krishna himself. But what is actually the name? Not just the outer layer for a capsule. Outer layer of the capsule, it can have the potent medicine inside or it can have poison inside. But the capsule is the same. So we cannot say both the capsules are it's the same, because what is inside is most important. So Krishna is inside. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, if we chant just for the sake of chanting, it is no use. We will have problems like this. He became a ghost. So this is documented in many of the lectures that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami has given. So this is an example for all of us. So Suddha Nama Shriya, coming back to Srivas Acharya. So if we want to chant the holy name in this mood of feeling the presence of Lord Krishna inside the name, in the syllables of Lord Krishna, then he is the custodian of this pure name, Srivas Acharya. And who's Srivas Acharya? Srivas Acharya is an incarnation of, anybody remember?
Brahma.
Narada Muni. Narada Muni's incarnation is Srivas Acharya. And Srivas Acharya had this, his house was the famous Shiva Sangan. If you go to Mayapur, you would have heard this place called Shiva Sangan. That Shiva Sangan is the epicenter. When they say earthquake epicenter, that means the starting point. So the epicenter of Harinam Sankirtan that we are all, fortunate enough to be in, it all started in Shiva Sangan in Mayapur. It was the headquarters of Harinam Sankirtan. So he opened the doors for all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the other acharyas to come in and perform this, Harinam Sankirtan on a daily basis. So now, coming back to this particular verse, so it says, whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. So we heard about Shiva's Acharya. Now, what can we learn? He's a great Acharya. What can we learn from him? So, right now, what can we do from our standpoint is we can open our doors for having home programs where we can preach the glories of the Lord. We can get a lot of our friends and relatives to our house. It may not be Shiva's Angan, but it is also a house where we can invite the devotees and we can offer prasadam, we can have some preaching centers, we can have some chanting sessions in our house. So that we can learn from Shiva's Acharya. So again, he is one of the Acharyas who we need to follow. And as we discussed, Narad Muni is one of the 12 Mahajans, and incarnation of Narad Muni is Shiva's Acharya. And who's Narad Muni? Can we follow him? We were discussing this in yesterday's radio program as well. So we know about 3 lifetimes of Narad Muni. So the first one is called as Upabarhana. In the 7th canto, there is a nice description of the life of Narad Muni as Upabarhana. He's one of the most famous Gandharvas, most beautiful, greatest voice he had. But then he was having this, attraction towards the beautiful Apsaras. And he was singing the glories of demigods when the Prajapatis had a big festival glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Prajapatis cursed him, you will lose all your beauty in the next life. So he became the son of a maid servant. And the greatest fortune was the traveling mendicants came. Whatever service that his mother was doing, he was able to join in that. He offered the prasadam to the great personalities, and he took the remnants of the prasadam and he heard the Krishna Katha. So in Srimad Bhagavatam it says these 2 characteristics, having the Mahaprasadam of these great personalities, the food that was left, prasadam that was left in the plate, as well as hearing these great Krishna Katha, wonderful Krishna Katha from these lotus lips of these exalted devotees, he became Narada in the next life. He was born from the heart of Brahmaji, and his stringed instrument, Veena, was given according to Linga Puran by Lord Krishna himself. So he carries Lord Krishna everywhere. So, and what does he do? He preaches the glories of the Lord wherever he goes throughout the universe. So what can we learn from this great personality? Preach the glories of the Lord. And what about Advaita Acharya? So another Acharya. So Prabhupada is talking about Acharya. Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya is also one of the Panchatatvas. And Advaita Acharya, what can we learn from him? Compassionate nature, merciful nature, selflessness nature. Why? Because he saw the condition of this fallen, conditioned soul in Kali Yuga, and he knew one of the verses from Gautamiya Tantra. We discussed this during the appearance day of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Gautamiya Tantra is one of the official Vedic literatures by Gautama Muni. And what does it say? If one offers tulasi leaf or water to Krishna, he cannot repay the debt to that person who offers tulasi leaf and water. Now what can we learn? Can we not offer a leaf or a fruit or a flower or water? Patram pushpam palam toyam yome 9.26 Bhagavad Gita. And in this Gautamiya Tantra, a little bit more detail is given. Offer me tulasi leaf and Ganges water. Now, can we not offer leaf and water? We don't have to be rich. Anywhere there is leaf, free. Any country there is leaf. Any forest, even if you are in forest, we have leaf and water. We offer. But there are 2 most important ingredients, love and devotion, and Krishna will take it. So, it is said, Krishna could not repay. Krishna, does he have money? Lord Krishna, does he have money? Everything is Lord Krishna's. Aham sarvasya prabho, bhoktaram ekatavasam sarva loka maheshwaram. So everything belongs to him. All the, you take all the big companies, Apple, everything belongs to him. The whole world belongs to him. All the universe belongs to him. Now, Krishna says, in spite of me having all this, I cannot repay the debt to the person who offers tulasi and water. Is that not mind-boggling? So we can do that. Very simply, we can offer that. So the lesson that we can learn from Advaita Acharya is to have that compassionate nature, to have that merciful nature, and then to offer tulasi and water to Krishna. So that is following the great personalities. We talked about Srivas Acharya, we talked about Advaita Acharya. What about ISKCON founder Acharya? And who's that ISKCON founder Acharya? Srila Prabhupada. His divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada in 1965, when he was 69 years of age, he took the cargo ship Jaladuta from India. After 37 grueling days in the sea, he had seasickness, he had 2 heart attacks, and then he came to Western world to preach. Now, if Srila Prabhupada did not come, all of us would not be sitting in this room on a Sunday morning. We'll be probably performing some sinful activities, at least some of us. So there is no way we would be fortunate to get all these transcendental books, transcendental pastimes of the Lord without Srila Prabhupada. So what did he do? He took the instruction of his Guru to his heart and soul. What are the instructions? Preach in English, print books in English. Those are the 2 instructions that his Guru Maharaj gave. Preach in English, print books in English. And he went through all the sufferings for the sake of all of us and to fulfill the instruction by his Guru Maharaj. So Vani is mind. So we can also emulate Srila Prabhupada by following the instructions of Prabhupada. How can we follow the instruction of Prabhupada? You may ask. Prabhupada is no longer in this planet, but his instructions are there in his books. Bhagavad Gita purports, all the transcendental books that we have. Prabhupada's purport is there. And if you were in this seminar last week, His Grace Shankarshan Das Adhikari said, in every word of Srila Prabhupada's purport, Lord Krishna is physically present. Can we beat that? In every word of Srila Prabhupada's purport, Lord Krishna is physically present. So we can follow Srila Prabhupada by following the 4 regulative principles, which he did. No illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating, chanting the regular number of rounds every day. So we can emulate the great, whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. Yad yad acharati shreshtas tat tat devataro jana. So we can follow Srila Prabhupada. Again, we cannot imitate. So the key point here is we cannot imitate the great acharyas or mahajans, but we can follow in their footsteps. What's the difference? The next example is another acharya, Namacharya. Who's Namacharya? Shri Haridas Thakur. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur, he chanted 300,000 names of Krishna every day. And how many rounds is that? It translates to 174 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. 174 every day. Every day 174. Now, initiated devotees chant 16 rounds of Mahamantra, and that comes to 27,648 times the name of Lord. 27,648. Now just imagine how many more times we need to chant to get to 300,000. We will not be able to, so we cannot imitate them, but we can follow in their footsteps of the great Acharya. So we can chant our fixed number of rounds, which is 16 rounds if you are initiated. And even if you are not initiated, you can chant 1 round of 108 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Anybody did math? Did the calculation of this? If you do 1 round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, how many names of Krishna are we chanting? 1 round, 108 times.
108 into 16.
1,728 times the name of Krishna. So 108 multiplied by 16. Why 16? Because Hare Krishna and Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. 16. Now we may ask, what about Hare? It's the energy of the Lord, not different from the Lord. So that is also Krishna's name. So we have 16 names of Krishna in one Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When we do 108 times, then we multiply that, you get 1,728 times the name of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Every time we chant. On a Sunday when we chant, we chant 1 round. All of us are chanting 1,728 times the name of the Lord. So we can not imitate the great acharyas, but we can follow in their footsteps. So we talked about Srivas Acharya, we heard about Advaita Acharya, we heard about ISKCON founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, we heard about Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur. But in this verse, it is not just, what about the kings? It says kings and fathers, not fit to be a father or a king or a politician if you are unable to deliver your dependence. Now, are there any kings? Now it's hard to find a politician who will fulfill this stipulation here. But in yesteryears, so we can go 1.75 million years ago in Satya Yuga, and we can take some examples. We can go 5,000 years ago at the advent of Kali Yuga or at the end of Dwapara Yuga and get some examples of kings who were great, who we can emulate. And also 500 years ago, we can go and get some examples of great kings. So which one will start off? Anybody wants to pick? 1.7 million years ago? 5,000 years ago? Lord Sri Ram. So we are going to celebrate Ram Navami next Saturday. So we humbly request all of you to be here at ISKCON Scarborough at 6:30. So he was the perfect example of how a king should be. So we'll hear more of this pastime next Saturday of Lord Ramachandra's advent. And that was in actually not in Satya Yuga, that was in Treta Yuga. Lord Ramachandra was in Treta Yuga. What about in Satya Yuga? Any kings that you can think of? Ambarish Maharaj. So many examples are there. Ambarish Maharaj.
Yeah.
Ambarish Maharaj, if you remember, he was following the Ekadasi Vrat, and when he was about to break the fast of the Dwadasi, Durvasa Muni comes along with his disciples. Durvasa Muni always travels with 10,000 disciples. So 10,001 people together, including Durvasa Muni, were there. And they said, we'll go take bath and come, you wait. And at that time, he couldn't wait because the time is over. And why was he doing this? Because for the welfare of the people in general. He was not doing it for his selfish motivation. He was doing it for the welfare of his dependents. Again, dependents, the people of the country, or the whole world at that time. And before that, on the Ekadasi, he gave some charity. So this is an example. This is something that all of us can follow. We cannot emulate, we cannot imitate. What did he do? Anybody remembers in Srimad Bhagavatam what is the charity he gave? Ambarish Maharaj, 60 crore cows, and all the cows had golden horns and silver hoofs. 60 crores he gave. He's a king, he's got so much money, but how can we follow in the footsteps? We can give, whatever we can give as donation when there are traveling preachers. Many preachers come to ISKCON Scarborough, ISKCON Toronto. So that's the way we get the pious credits. And again, we don't do that to get pious credits, but then we help them in their preaching activities. You can sponsor various activities in various temples, because it is also a preaching center where devotees come and they get to learn, hear about Krishna Katha. So you can sponsor various activities. We may not be able to give 60 crore cows with golden horns and silver hooves, but we can give $200, $300, whatever we can as donation. You can sponsor Bhoga, you can sponsor deity dress in our own way. So that is Ambarish Maharaj. What else can we learn? So Ambarish, Durvasa Muni came, he was so angry, he took the tuft of hair and he threw it down, and there was a great demon that came into place. And when he walked, there was earthquake. Earth was shattering when he was walking with the trident in the hand, his copper colored hair. And he was not scared. He was just praying to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ambarish Maharaj. This chakra, Sudarshan chakra came and highlighted this demon. In Srimad Bhagavatam it says how a snake is burned down during a forest fire. That's how this demon was annihilated. And then it started chasing Ambarish Maharaj wherever he went. He went through the 3 planetary systems, through the sea, through the sky. He went into the caves of Sumeru mountain, which is 1 million kilometers high. He went everywhere. This is chasing. He went to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva said, go to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma said, go to Lord Vishnu. He fell at the feet of Lord Vishnu. He said, I cannot do anything. I am under the control of my devotees. You go back to Ambarish Maharaj, fall on his feet. Ask him to forgive you and everything will be okay. So he did that. And there is a similar story in Shiva's Acharya. In that particular pastime, there is a person by the name of Gopala Chapala. 500 years ago, Gopala Chapala was there. He was a non-believer. Whenever there was this great kirtan going on in Shiva's Angan, he was feeling jealous. His heart was burning in envy. So what did he do? He took a banana leaf and he put red vermilion, he put turmeric, he put rice. And that is the type of offering you make to Bhavani, goddess Bhavani, Durga. And in general, not everybody, in general, the followers of goddess Bhavani is supposed to be a little bit inferior. And the reason is because they drink liquor and they eat meat, according to the purport by Srila Prabhupada. So what did he do? He called everybody next day morning and then he said, see what type of devotee I am. I do pray to Bhavani. And none of the neighbors believed that because they know what a great Vaishnava is. Exactly 3 days, Gopala Chapala got infested with the worst form of leprosy for this offense against this great Vaishnava. He got leprosy, sores all over his body, and pus and blood oozing out, and the worms were biting him. And what did he do? Because of the stench from the body, he had to go to Ganges. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walked by, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, for 10 million years you will be born in hellish condition, and millions of insects will be biting you. So you may be wondering, is Namo Maha Vadanya Avatar, how did he say this? And again, right after his initiation in Gaya, from Ishwarapuri, he came back, and still this Gopala Chapala is sitting there near the banks of Ganges. And he said, for you, you will be cured if you go and fall in the feet of Shiva's Acharya. So I cannot do anything. Like how Lord Vishnu said to Durvasa Muni that I cannot do anything because I am under the control of my devotee. For the sin that you committed, you have to go and fall in the feet of Shiva's Acharya. So he did that, and then he was cured immediately. So there are so many pastimes. Ranti Deva. How many more minutes we have to go? I can keep going.
Yeah, there's 3 more minutes.
3 more minutes, so maybe one more pastime. Is that okay? One more pastime? So this is another wonderful pastime about how we can emulate great personalities. So this is a story of Ranti Deva. This is also from Satya Yuga. This is in the 7th canto. Anybody has heard this story, Ranti Deva? Wonderful story. Again, we cannot imitate, but we can follow in the footsteps of Ranti Deva. Ranti Deva was a king, and he was performing so many austerities. And once he fasted along with his family members for 48 days. 48 days he was fasting. Not just from food and water, 48 days. So it's impossible for us to fast. We cannot even fast for 48 hours. What to say of 48, especially during Nirjala Ekadasi, you know how much trouble we go through, looking at the time when we can break the fast. So 48 days he was fasting. And at the end of 48 days, he was in the forest at that time. And then the citizens of the country were feeling so bad because he was fasting along with his family members for the benefit of everybody. They brought food and made with ghee, the most aromatic prasadam. So they were ready to eat, the family members were ready to eat. And 2 minutes? Okay, we're almost done. So the family members were all ready to eat. After 48 days of fasting, one Brahmin comes. King Ranti Deva, I am so hungry, I am about to die. Please give me some prasadam, because they were in the forest. So he gives 1/3 of that prasadam right away. He's not saying none of us ate. What are you asking? 48 days, we were fasting. No. He just, why did he do that? Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto. So he's seeing Krishna in the heart of everyone, and he's seeing Krishna in the heart of the Brahmin. So he thinks it's Krishna. He's offering to Krishna. So he gave 1/3 of the prasadam. Though in this case it's prasadam, not bhoga. So he gave 1/3. And then he eats and goes away. Then they're ready to eat the remaining 2 portions that they were ready to eat. And then there is a Sudra, according to the, it says Sudra comes there, and he says, I can't walk. I can't take 1 step more. I will die. I'm in desperate need of some food. Can you please give? So he takes the second portion and he gives it to this Sudra. He eats. He's healthy now. He goes away. Then they are ready to eat whatever food is left, and a little bit of water is there. So they're about to eat. Another guest comes with lot of dogs. He comes with lot of dogs. So again, it's a wonderful story in Srimad Bhagavatam. Lot of dogs, this person comes, and then he gives the remaining food to all of them. So he's given everything that he has, including the water. The last person is again a Chandala. So no more food. It's gone to a Brahmin, to a Sudra, and the guest with lot of dogs. So all the food is taken care of by them. So what is left is with water. Chandala comes. Chandala is a dog eater. He comes and he's about to die. He's falling down and he wants some water. He gives whatever water he has. He gives it to them. Just imagine. And now King Ranti Deva and his family are on the verge of death. They're about to die. And at that time, all the demigods, so these are the demigods who tested him after 48 days. So the Brahmin, the Sudra, the guest with the dogs, and this Chandala are all demigods. Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, all of them came in disguise as them to test him. And he passed the test with flying colors. So they came and they blessed him and they said, your glory will not only be, you will not only be glorified on earth, but also in the heavenly kingdom. So what do we learn from this one again? Yadyadacharati Shrestha says, whatever action a great man performs, we cannot imitate King Rantideva, but we can follow in their footsteps by doing Ekadasi Vrat, by giving, by seeing Lord in everybody's heart, Bija Pratapita in everybody's heart. So those are the things that we can emulate. Hare Krishna.